Hi guys, I'm Moritz from Romantic Labs. I'm going to give you guys a quick demo and update on where we are with Raven. So we just brought out this new version. I'm going to give you a little rundown. Here I just have a model of downtown San Francisco, and I've picked this nice plot where I'd like to do a massing and like try some ideas on it. And so here I'm just going to draw a quick outline in my Rhino view of some idea I want to try. And so I'm just going to reference this boundary curve right here in Grasshopper. So I opened up Grasshopper. Now I'm going to click this button and then Raven will open up, and I'll just ask Raven, please create a 45-story massing at this boundary, at this curve. And so you see it's a little bit of a funky outline I have here for my building. We're in downtown San Francisco, so 45 stories is really not too crazy. It'll be a pretty large building though. As you see, Raven is now creating the new script, and because I have a curve already referenced on my canvas, I'll be able to make connections and use that script. So I see my curve needs to be flipped, which is very quick. Here we go. And we have our first massing. Now, of course, the number of floors is set here, so I can always go in and just change that to 50 or maybe 35. I do think it's actually quite big right now. So that looks cool. Now, I have this idea for a diamond shaped facade, so I'm just going to ask Raven for add a diamond shaped facade. And I think that would look quite good here in this particular location. And of course, because this is a curve I've referenced in Grasshopper, it remains totally flexible for me to come in and change, the boundary. Maybe if I end up wanting some more daylight in it, I might just push back this corner so we don't get too deep in our office building. Okay, so now Raven is actually trying to build this diamond-shaped facade, but it had an error, which it automatically corrected. And now here we go. We get the diamond-shaped facade, which actually, it looks great, but as you can see, the diamond size varies from surface to surface. So I'm just going to ask Raven to make sure the diamonds are always identical in size. Just so, even though I'm just trying out some ideas here, I would like the diamond shape to be sort of more consistent. Okay, and as Raven goes and figures this out, there we go. We've got very small diamond shape now, but here we go. We can actually adjust the height and width over the diamonds. So we can really make them exactly how we want them. So a little bit long like this. I think that looks quite good. And they're actually consistent now across the building. So of course, I have a certain floor area that I need to fulfill here with this massing. So I'm just going to ask Raven, what is the total floor area of this massing? Create the calculation. So I'm going to ask Raven to calculate that, but also I hope to keep that calculation on my canvas so I can keep referring to it as I try out different boundary curves and heights and things like that. So Raven will create that calculation for me. So as you see, whenever I ask Raven for something, it adds calculations here to my script. So there we go. I already got the panel that says total floor area. And this is actually in units right now because I didn't tell Raven if my file is in meters or in inches. And so it just calculates with whatever unit the current file has. Here's what I get. And so as I update, for example, my number of floors, and I go to, let's go back to 45, you can see that the floor area, because it's a calculation, right, it also updates. Of course, the same is true if I change my boundary curve. So this is actually quite cool. I think this would be a fun building for this lot, but I'm not so sure about the facade yet. So I'm going to ask Raven to propose a different facade. So there's a couple of different facades that Raven we might want to try here. And so let's just see. There we go. Now we've got a quad panel facade. Okay, that's cool, but maybe I'm more interested in something like, how about triangles? I even misspelled that. But as you see, I can very quickly just try ideas and really work alongside Raven. So this is not a sort of one prompt and I'm off, but I really stay in full control here. So now we've got some triangles going, and can of course still adjust their size just as before. Okay, so now I'm actually interested. I want Raven to add some geometry to this, because currently it's all just surfaces and curves. So before we do that, I will increase the size of the triangles, because I do think, yeah, cool if they're nice and large like this. So that looks quite cool. And I'm going to ask Raven to type the facade curves. We get some sort of thickness and visual fidelity to this triangle facade. And then after that, I'm going to ask Raven to give thickness to the floor slabs, and that should really just sort of develop the visual feedback, visual preview that we have here, and give us a little bit of a better idea of what we're looking at and maybe what we're trying. There we go. So I'm going to ask Raven to give thickness to floor slabs. In the meantime, I see that the piping is really quite thin, so I might just come in here and create a sort of more thickness for those pipes. So if we now turn off some of the other previews that we really don't need them anymore, now we just see the geometry, the thickness to our facade, and also to the floor slabs that have been added by now. And so with this ready to go, I'm now going to open up the hood a little bit and look inside. So this is the Raven interface, and it has a little setting button at the top. And as you see, and maybe you're familiar with the plugin I've been using for this demo, it's called LunchBox. And you can see in here that Raven has recognized LunchBox to be installed in my current system. And I have made a sub-selection of component groups that I want Raven to use while I work with him. And that was saved and used in every iteration whenever I asked the question. So I'm going to actually turn off those LunchBox components, and instead I'm going to go up here to the display. So the grayed out components are all the sort of pre-built, like pre-shipped or built within Grasshopper components that we've made a pre-selection out of. So Raven has access to some of these components at all times. But if I might be interested to send to create a Ladybug script, so I can go in here and make a sub-selection of those component groups that I sent along. Or in my case now, actually, I'm just going to select the entire display group, because I'm going to ask Raven to create a custom preview of the facade pipes and floor slabs, set color values with panels. So I'm going to ask Raven to create a preview, and because I've just selected the display subgroup of components, which is also the one I have open here right now, you see Raven will be able to set colors and create materials and create a custom preview for us for this massing, which then maybe I want to use when I show this to my team, so that we don't have to use a standard Grasshopper preview here, but maybe get something more colorful that also brings out the structure and geometry of this massing a little bit better. So as Raven prepares that, I also see we still have points and other things previewed like this. So I'm actually going to come in here and turn off the preview for some more of these structures. So really the ability of Raven to use plugins is very dynamic. So whatever plugin you have installed, you might have proprietary software also installed on your system, Raven can recognize that and build them into its scripts. So here we go. We've got a new preview right here, a custom preview made by Raven. course, we still have also our total floor area calculation here. It's very gray, so make it more colorful and playful. I really think, given the wide model of the city that we have right here, we might be interested in something a little bit more interesting. And at the same time, the diamond facade is maybe, there we go. Now we get a green and red one. Okay, I'm gonna actually reduce the size of this diamond facade again to something maybe 15. There we go. It's actually a triangular facade. And maybe the one more thing we want to try, switch back, turn off display, switch back to LunchBox panelization and say, switch the facade back to diamonds and make the preview color something like dark blue. So yeah, that's how quickly you can work alongside Raven with something like a building massing and include whatever plugins you already use in your workflow with Raven and really stay in full control throughout that sort of iteration and going back and forth. Yeah, thank you very much for checking it out. Raven is actually for free. You can try it, get a little bit of usage out of it if you just go to romantic.technology, and you can download it there with just one click. Thanks for watching.